All right. Hello, everyone. This is TimePro's Sprint 290 review and retro and planning. So uh, let's get let's get into it. So I'm gonna start with the sprint review. So we achieved both sprint goals. We improved the tax experience for accountant. Now, if the client is outside countries, then we will set the right tax category. The next one, we also managed to remove reference to like the legacy repositories. So we unblock more stuff to move to .NET 8 from .NET Framework. Any questions so far, Adam?
Does that mean there's no EDMX references anymore at all?
We still have one more in the actual tenant, but from the management one, we don't have EDMX.
Okay, awesome.
All right, so that's the sprint goal. This is a 5-day sprint. I'm gonna scroll down to the timesheet data. We have Chris, Yolal, and Toby working in the sprint. And I'm gonna move on to the actual done stuff. The biggest thing that we actually achieve on top of the sprint goal is actually to upgrade scheduling service to .NET 8. So that's one less project in .NET Framework. And we also decommissioned Web UI, which is like one of the big .NET Framework project. We actually removed like 1,000 files more, and that's crazy. And we noticed like there's a faster build as well. So it's everything looks good so far.
Awesome. What were the old build times and what are the new build times?
And the old build time for the .NET itself is like average around 8 minutes. And now with this one, it's like averaging around 7 minutes. So it's like 1 minute reduced.
Okay.
All right. I think that's the two most important part. Any questions, Adam?
No, I would just bold that most important, those two important ones that you just mentioned.
Right, that one.
Yep, great.
Okay. Sorry, actually, there's one more important part that Toby worked on this one. So there's one specific endpoint that used in the timesheet page, which is very slow. I think at one point it reached like 28 seconds just to get the data back. And that's because we have a poor database optimization. Toby had a discussion with Bryden and JK and implement some optimization on the database side. And now it is running less than 100 milliseconds. So that's
from what time? From what time to what time?
28 seconds. It's close to timeout.
Okay.
And
it's gone from something like 300,000 logical reads down to like, I think it was 3 or something like that, under 10 anyway.
Okay, so yeah, you couldn't get that by adding more hardware, that's for sure. Was it adding an index? Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wouldn't the sprint goals be bold as well?
Yeah, you should bold the sprint goals as well.
that's a very good point.
Unless they weren't important.
All
right. Happy to move on.
Just with the scheduling service, that what tech was it in, and what is it in now?
So it was in .NET Framework 4.7.2, running on Windows Service.
Yes.
Sorry, running as a Windows Service. Now it's on .NET 8, still running as a Windows Service. But Toby and I had a discussion whether to want to move it to like an actual web application, but that's for later discussion.
Right. No worries.
All right, happy to move on.
Yes.
Okay, next one. This is the best thing in this email, which is the burn down trend. That looks so good.
Looks beautiful.
Yeah, it didn't go to 0 because we have a couple of leftover tasks to do. And the next one is code coverage. We added more tests in the last sprint. Last sprint has 937. We now have 964. Add more 27 tests. That's for the backend. For the front end, it's the same because we didn't change any tests. And moving on to the
quick question on that. Adding 27 tests, that sounds like a lot. Are you using GitHub Copilot? Is that making that easier?
Yes, 100%. Like I would say like at least 70% of the work is done by the Copilot, because then you don't have to write, like even the
Yeah.
adding comment like act, assert, and arrange is just like adding it's
Right.
time consuming, right? Yeah.
If you get
Copilot,
a chance to talk to Christian, can you like tell him that it's valuable and useful? Because I'm trying to get him to install like these dragging his heels.
Christian from Melbourne.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll talk to him.
Cool.
It's like right there across me. Okay. But yeah, having a Copilot is actually really helpful. At least like you don't have to write a lot of boilerplate codes.
Right.
Saves a lot of time. All right. Moving on to the build pipeline health production deployment. Do not be alarmed by the 75%. That's because when Toby and I trying to deploy the .NET 8 as a Windows service, we did a lot of testing and trying to figure out what we need and why it doesn't work. And at the end, we figure out what's missing. We just need to add like a different extensions to the .NET 8 runtime, so it actually notify Windows service that it's alive. But yeah, so if it's only temporarily, the next one should be good again.
Okay. Just a formatting issue on that figure. I would put the URL on a fresh line, and I put the other comment possibly above. But yeah, it's fine. Just easy to read. Yep. Yeah, that's perfect.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. And moving on, we have one production deployment in the past week. That was on 19 hours ago. It's like early. I think it was like late Tuesday, because I write this email yesterday.
Okay. Cool. Can you put the URL on a fresh line?
First line.
No,
Oh,
on a
you mean
fresh line.
fresh line? Sorry. Yeah. Okay. The next one is application health overview timeline. The failed request went down from 25K to 5.5K. It's still a lot, because there's like a because we added more telemetry into the whole system. As you can see on the right side, actually we have like more nodes in that, because we added open telemetry in, and also collecting all the metrics on dependencies, basically give us more observability on what's going on. We also get more failed requests, because some of them is actually like expected a failed request. So in the next sprint, we're going to update if it's not important errors, then we're just not gonna log it here, because it's reduced visibility on what's the important stuff.
Right. So there's 3 times that you've exceeded 1,000 errors in the last week. Do
Yeah.
you know what those 3 were? They the same thing every time? Do you know what they are?
Yes. So if I go in this last sprint review, we had a issue. I think Toby, do you remember that issue, Toby?
The head request one.
Yes. So
Yeah.
we had a. Sorry, Toby, can you explain a bit more about that one?
Yeah, okay. When we were moving from the web UI over to the web app and actually starting to like hide the web UI, there was a couple of issues where the head requests to the base URL were still going to the web UI. So we're getting issues with that, but that was a fairly simple code change. That's why we had 25,000.
Okay, guys, you've
errors.
been talking for a long time. I still don't know. Is it fixed?
Yes, it's fixed.
Okay,
And we
that's
deployed.
what I would start with. It's now, it's fixed.
Yeah.
And it's been deployed. Is that right?
That's right. Yes, and we
it
don't
was
see that spike
deployed.
anymore, because
Yeah,
it's fixed.
and it was deployed after the 3 spikes.
Yes, that's right.
The other question I have is, so we went from 25 to 5,000. Are those 5,000 a different issue or the same issue? And it was just fixed
Different
after.
issue.
Different issue. All right.
So do you know what that issue is, or do we need to investigate that?
Yes, it's a false alarm, because we added more monitoring, basically.
All right, good.
Okay.
Right.
Happy to move on.
Yes.
All right. Next one is product roadmap. we scratch out the migrate controls to .NET 8 because web UI is gone and
Can you put a line break after the figure?
On here?
No, a line break after the figure before number 6. Just it looks like it's all part of the same thing. Above, see above?
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yep.
Oh, right. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, good catch, Shirley. Yeah, so we scratch this out. The epic is done. Web UI is gone, and every controller is now in .NET 8. I've also done a bit of backlog cleanup and refinement. Yes, refinement, and then we also scratch out this other epic that has been there for a long time because everything is already in Angular 10. We don't have MVC pages anymore.
Yep.
So that too.
Can we add one more, which is Angular 10 to Angular 17?
18.
Yes, we have that. I did already add that yesterday, but it's not in this thing yet. But it's we have the epic in the board.
Why do you have this in text if you have the image of the epics?
It's showing the progress. So from 90 to 89, from 93 to 100.
But the image shows the progress as well.
No, it doesn't. It just shows the current state, not where we were at last week.
Right. Yeah. So we wouldn't know where they made.
How far have we got this sprint?
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. It's just more detail on the above. Yeah. Just show that there has been progress.
So FYI, Piers, for me, that's very valuable because if we, for instance, here we've moved back 1%, right? But if I just look at 89%, I don't know that.
You could use the screenshot from the prior one and you could say from this to this.
You could.
Yeah.
I think that would be better than using text.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. The image from before, the from to, then you don't have to write anything.
That's a good idea. Okay, so for the next sprint, I will.
I know.
Actually,
I
I'm gonna
add this before sending it.
Yep, I'm gonna update this email. I'm gonna put the last week's screenshot and then put the next before.
The other concern I have is I look at the text there and it doesn't match what's in the screenshot.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit confused about what's going on there.
Yeah, and when you send this, Chris, can you just make sure you CC Callum, Piers, and Isaac?
Yep. Oh, is Isaac there?
Yeah.
I can't see Isaac in the screen.
There he is. He's watching.
He's not wearing red, so you don't notice him.
Yes.
Yeah, Callum and I are matching.
Who's got the correct shade?
It's the same shake. It's the same brand.
Oh yeah.
All right, cool. Moving on.
All right. Okay. Next one, R&D. It's the same as last week. We upgrading from .NET Framework to .NET 8, and then next one is sprint retrospective. What went well? Scheduling is .NET 8, so we just have one more project in .NET Framework to go, which is the CLI. It's very close.
Who said that? Because I'd put prefixes on who said what.
Chris. And then hello, and then Chris. All right, from Yalal, no more web UI, because I think it's actually because Yalal's laptop is a bit struggling to run things through. With less 1,000 files in the project, actually make things a bit easier.
Yeah.
I
think I would put there one more, which is faster build times of a minute. Yeah.
All right, next one, great burn down chart. That's from me. What didn't go so well? From Chris, Toby is going.
Just put going to client work.
I think he's also going to on a leave as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna put in going off client work.
Going to client work. Going
to client work.
Going to get rid of off.
And from Yalal, I think it's at the point where she will upgrade her laptop because it was struggling to run TimePro.
Oh.
And there was some. And she also wants a shiny new laptop as well.
Okay, all right. Well, that's a good. Okay. Work laptop. Work is not a capital W.
Pardon, sorry.
Work is not a capital W. And
that was accident. Sorry, I didn't catch that last one.
Keep going.
Okay. Yep. improvement to be next sprint because I have like 3 days off in the next sprint. I talked to Julian and suggested to make a 2-week sprint. So
Okay.
yeah,
All
so
right.
I'll be available for more time.
That's unclear.
Yeah.
If you're talking about for the next sprint or for off sprints.
2-week sprint for just for the next one.
Okay. All right.
All right, so that's all the sprint review. Happy to move on to the sprint forecast, Adam.
I'm just going to ask you one question, just to the devs, Toby, Gilal, and Chris. Who would prefer to keep on 1-week sprints, and who would prefer to go to 2-week sprints? Can you just put your hand up if you want 1-week sprints in the future? Not the next one, but for the future. 1 week. Who wants 2-week sprints forever? Okay. All right. Good to hear. Okay.
I think it would be good because there's a lot of people sort of like we're jumping in and off the project, so it can be hard. Certain weeks there might not be many devs allocated to the project, so I think 2 would be great.
Okay. Yeah, there's something coming from Gert and Piers. Okay.
Yeah, I think 2-week sprints will give us more. It sounds weird, but it gives us more flexibility in having less developer. With 1 week, you have more flexibility in planning, but with 2 weeks, it's more flexible to arrange things out.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, forecast.
I have another question. Who would do you like doing these summaries and at the end after the sprint review, or would you prefer me to join the entire sprint review? So hand up if you'd prefer for me to join the entire sprint review and not do the summary. Who would prefer to do the summary at the end? Right. Okay. Interesting. All right. Thanks.
Well, can I ask a question? What if Adam just joined for the bit where we're going through the PBIs and then left? So we didn't have to go through the content twice. He just here's the bit where we're going through the PBIs. Would that be an option?
But I wouldn't get to see the number of deployments and stuff.
Yeah. Well, you would because you get the email. You're less likely to look at it.
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it that way. I'd either join the whole one or just the summary.
Right.
And then so yeah, once you actually got
okay.
environment, I would.
Okay, can we go to forecast?
Yep. All right. Going to forecast. The forecast email, and we have 3 sprint goals. 2 of them is related to .NET 8 migration. One is to upgrade the email SMTP client replacement. Second one is to replace the last project. Migrate the last project from .NET Framework to .NET 8.
Sorry, I'm unclear on the first one. Are you getting rid of Fluent Email?
No. We are upgrading from the old SMTP implementation to the modern Fluent Email implementation because the old one is not supported.
Can you put the words from and to? Client replacement from?
I think, how about I just say upgrade SMTP client because we didn't change any
to Fluent Email.
Aren't we already using Fluent Email?
Yes, we're only using Fluent Email, so it's not upgrading to Fluent Email.
Okay.
How about upgrading Fluent Email client? Like that. Will that be better, Adam?
Yep.
Upgrade Fluent Email SMTP client.
Yep, good.
All right. So that's the first one. Second one is to get rid of.
You'll need to change the name of the PBI to that as well, not just the sprint goal.
Yep. I will do it after this. Or if you can do it in the background, y'all, that would be great. Yeah, so that's the first one. Second one is to upgrade the CLI to .NET 8 because now it's unblocked. The third one is the one that Yuli and Michael has been requesting for a while, which is to start working on the API integration for Ingram Micro.
Do you know what that is, Adam?
No, I don't.
So that's going to allow us to resell licenses with much more automation rather than having to sort of manually do all the invoicing and everything. We'll just work out what are we getting from Ingram Micro, invoice it, mark it up, and send it on.
Right. Okay. How much time does that take at the moment?
We don't even do it because it's too hard. So we're
Right.
like, we've got a couple of clients where we do it because we can't get away with not doing it, and but we're leaving a lot of work on the table because
Right. Okay.
it's too risky and difficult. And when we do it, it's a nightmare because we're not sure if we've invoiced enough and what the markup should be and whether
Right,
it's
okay.
changed and whether the USD to AUD has happened and blah, 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 blah.
And who's in charge of that spec?
Well, it's probably going to be me.
Yeah. So Chris is going to be talking to Mike to find out what needs to happen.
Right. Okay. All right. No worries.
Yeah. All right. Any questions about sprint goal, Adam?
No, all good.
Okay, so next one, as discussed, we're gonna make this a 2-week sprint for the sprint. So the sprint duration is 10 days. And then we'll scroll down all the way to the PBIs. This is all the PBIs in the sprint. 3 on the top is the sprint goal. And then we have a couple of bug fixes and also some under the hood migration for .NET 8.
Yep. Okay.
And okay, I think that's all the forecast. Any questions, Adam?
No. Well, it looks awesome.
All right, so I guess that's all. That's all the sprint review and sprint planning. Once this is done, I will upload this sprint review and planning to this YouTube channel, SSW TimePro. And if you want to have a review, have a look at you can have a look at this channel.
Awesome.
So thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
See ya.
Stop recording. Lovely.
Okay. So I thought that was excellent.